Hey, welcome back. I'm Judah. Thank you for joining us for weekly service here at Church Home. I hope wherever you are enjoying the most wonderful time of the year. Oh, I love this time of year so much. And I hope wherever you are on planet Earth, there is some joy, there is some festivities. We have decorated our studio here for your viewing enjoyment. I hope you enjoy it and it's festive. I will be wearing as many sweaters as possible this month in these recordings to encourage you wherever you are. I watched a video recently of people bringing in a snow machine in California so that they could sled with their kids on their front lawn. That is a commitment to the season. So wherever you are, I hope you're enjoying yourself and having a good time. We are doing a collection of talks called When God is Born. When God is Born, and we are looking actually not at when Jesus was born. We're looking at 700 years before his birth in a barn in Bethlehem. Isaiah prophesied that there would be a child son, a child born and a son given. And then 4 prophetic titles are given about Jesus. Last week, we looked at Wonderful Counselor. This week, we're going to look at Mighty God. One of the more vivid memories I have from Christmas is actually as a young boy falling asleep next to the Christmas tree. It was in Portland, Oregon. We lived in an itty-bitty small little house in a pretty rough neighborhood. But of course, I didn't know that. I loved my life, loved my mom, loved my dad, and Christmas was a special time. This particular Christmas, I would receive a little mini hoop. I would receive some of those starting lineup figurines. I actually remember the names: Lawrence Taylor, Steve Largent, Kurt Warner. Kurt Warner and Steve Largent are old Seattle Seahawks players here in the National Football League, United States of America. But I remember Lawrence Taylor, the great linebacker for the New York Giants. I don't know if you have that, if that happens to you, but I remember some gifts so vividly. I was so into football cards and basketball cards, and I've always loved sports. But that year, before my mom and dad, while I slept, put up my little mini court, I fell asleep under the Christmas tree. If you remember, I don't know what it was like in your family, but my mom and dad were very resourceful. We didn't have a lot of money, but they would always decorate the tree perfectly. My mom was such attention to detail. Mom, thank you. You made us feel like the wealthiest family in the world. And it was there that night in Portland, Oregon, probably some 35 degrees out on Christmas Eve night. I fell asleep under the Christmas tree, probably talking to my wonderful older sister, who I'm thinking about a lot during this season. She is amazing. She lives in Las Vegas, Nevada. I love you, Wendy, so much. And I remember that night because I woke up in the arms of my dad. I woke up between the Christmas tree and my bed. I mean, I had to be, 11 years old. So it's not like I was a small little baby. And I remember thinking, wow, my dad is so strong, as he carried me from the Christmas tree to my bedroom, which, again, not a big house, not a lot of money. So it wasn't a long walk or a long carry, but nonetheless, I woke up as an 11-year-old thinking to myself, my dad is so big and so strong. And I guess if I had a goal for this moment, if I had a goal for this speech, this presentation, it would be that somehow, perhaps, you would be granted a sense that God is so strong, that he desires to be a strength to you and to carry you, perhaps even while you rest and while you sleep. Let me read Isaiah chapter 9 and verse 6. 700 years before Jesus is born in a barn in Bethlehem, the prophet Isaiah said, "For to us a child is born, to us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder. His name shall be called Wonderful Counselor, Mighty God, Everlasting Father, and Prince of Peace." I want to talk to you about mighty God. Mighty God. Now, this is an unprecedented portion of human literature. Divine, I believe, completely inspired by God, and there has never been a piece of literature in human history quite like the scriptures that we call the Bible. It is here for arguably one of the first times, if not the first time, we get the word child and the Hebrew word El in connection. El is only ever used, not of anyone other than the divine, mighty, powerful, all-knowing, all-present God of the universe. And here, the prophet Isaiah says there will be a child El. There will be a baby El. There will be a child God. There will be a baby God. This is unbelievable almost. This is unheard of. This is unprecedented. There will be a mighty God child. How could there be El in the form of a child? El in the form of a baby. El has always been known in Hebrew scriptures as this all-powerful, strong, mature, eternal force known as God, El. And yet here we get incredible juxtaposition of he is a child El, mighty God. This spoken, of course, of the incarnation. Again, I want to remind you, Isaiah says a child is born, a son is given. The child is to reference that he is his son or a child of a woman. Son given is not birthed, but given. That is the Son of God. So even Isaiah is prophesying there will be a man that will come who will be a son of a woman, and yet the son of the living God. He will be child El. He'll be child God. The word mighty here means champion, hero, giant. There'll be a child giant, a child hero, an infant champion, and yet that's the story. Think of it. About 100 years ago, an old theologian wrote that God would subject himself to being a newborn, to breast milk, to learning and forming words, to learning to walk. It's extraordinary. Why does this matter? Because I want you to hear this statement. There is no limit to his love and the extent that he will go for you. When it says that he will be a mighty God and yet he is a child that is born, the message is clear to you today that God would put on the form of a newborn. He would come through a woman, Mary, just like you, just like me, the virgin birth, miraculous in nature, has a stepdad named Joe. He's born in a cave. There's a bunch of pets. There's a lot of angels. Shepherds show up later, and a couple of years later, then there's magi or wise men or wealthy men who come to worship a toddler, a 2-year-old. His whole life is extraordinary and miraculous and unprecedented. What is the message to you and to me? A wonderful story, an extraordinary story. It's Christmas season. It's amazing. But wait, subjecting himself to being born, to newborn, to breast milk, to forming words, learning to walk, having to do his chores, brushing his teeth, combing his hair, having a bedtime, having a curfew. Think about it. What's the message? That there is no limit to his love, and there is no extent that is too far that he won't go for you and for me. Second observation I want to make, the Hebrew word El next to a child is absolutely unprecedented, as I've already stated. He shows his might, security, and divinity in his fragile arrival. I want to read that again. Wrote in my notes, he will show his might, his security, and his divinity in his fragile arrival. It's funny, mighty in my world is usually subject to humans that look like they wrestle in the world wrestling entertainment, or they are strong and powerful and can win bodybuilding contests. Mighty is associated to scale and size in this world. And yet here God shows his might and his security, not through scale, but through his fragile arrival. What is this observation? I want you to think about it. Simple and small things matter to this mighty God. Simple and small things. Maybe it's December 8th and you're watching this and you're thinking to yourself, God couldn't possibly care about the parking spot that I need at the mall so that I can finish my Christmas shopping. Simple and small things matter to God. Maybe you're thinking to yourself, I've got to go to the dentist, which I was at just a few days ago, and I got to get a filling filled, and I feel fear. Simple and small things matter to God. Maybe you're thinking to yourself, I sure would like to be able to afford some cream, which would help my face as I age. Simple and small things matter to God. I don't have enough money to take my girlfriend or boyfriend out to eat, and I'd like to show them a special date night. Simple and small things matter to God. I'd like to make the team at my high school, the sports team. I really want to make the sports team, and I need to make friends at my new school. Simple and small things matter to God. I was hurt years ago by a family member, and I can barely stand being in the same room with them. God, help me forgive. Simple and small things matter to God. I don't want to lose my hair. Simple and small things matter to God. I really, really want to get that gift for Christmas. Simple and small things matter to God. I want to wake up with an expectation of good things from God in the morning. Simple and small things matter to God. How simple is it? How small is it? It matters to Him. I can't help but in my mind's eye see the infant Jesus wrapped in rags, laying in a carved out piece of stone that we now eloquently call a manger. It was a feeding trough made out of rock for crude farm animals. And He laid there, fragile, small, little, in need of nurturing, carrying, growing, maturing. Why? Simple and small things matter to God. Oh, sure, there's many other reasons, but we can't lose sight of this one. How small is that thing you really want from God? How simple is your desires? Matters to Him. And lastly, and in conclusion, my third observation from Mighty God, the second title given 700 years before the birth of Jesus. Let's all remember this Christmas season, strength is not measured in its size and scale. I don't know about you, but I've walked into rooms with a lot of nerves before. I'm 46 and I've had the privilege of being in all kinds of different settings and surroundings and circumstances and meetings and parties and functions and events and galas and conventions and retreats and advances and banquets. And whew, you know that moment right before you walk through the door? You know that moment right before you get out of the car? You know that moment right before you meet that significant person that you want to make a good impression, and you say to yourself, shoulders back, head up, here we go. Okay, I got good news for you. When it comes to mighty God, you don't have to act big or act strong or try to be a big deal. Because with God, strength comes in small and simple packages. Your strength is not measured by bank account. Your strength is not measured by social media followers. Your strength is not measured by awards and trophies and accomplishments. It's measured by the great and grand and mighty God who you are in connection, friendship, and relationship with. He makes you strong. He makes you brave. He makes you courageous. Do you need strength? Do you need courage? Do you need resilience? Do you need fortitude? Do you need stick-to-itness? If you're like me, I give myself a self-talk and hope I can pull it off. Or I trust this wonderful God who has shown me a different definition of strength. I don't have to act strong. I don't have to make sure people think I'm a big deal, because strength and courage is not measured in size or scale. It's measured in the significant relationship, friendship, and connection with God. Let this little infant in a manger speak volumes to you. He will go to extreme extents to show you his love. He is so secure and so confident. Simple and small things matter to him. And your strength will not be measured by the size and scale of your accomplishments, bank account, or popularity. It's measured in the reality that you have friendship and connection with him. I hope today that this title, some 700 years before Jesus is born, speaks volumes to you and your life. Can I lead you in a guided prayer just for a few moments, just 1 minute, and we'll close. I'm going to ask you to close your eyes. Open your hands, palms up. And what I'm going to pray for right now is that you will actually have a sense of this great, grand, mighty God giving you strength right now in your day-to-day life. What do you specifically need strength for in your life right now? What specific area? Maybe it's marriage, maybe it's parenting, maybe it's for your mom and dad, maybe it's for high school, maybe it's for middle school, maybe it's for finances. Where and when and how do you need strength? With your eyes closed, I want you to see strength, energy, courage, fortitude, confidence, and security coming to you now. As sure as Jesus was born in Bethlehem, his strength is born inside of you right now. Say this with me. God, I thank you for giving me strength. God, I thank you for giving me confidence. And God, thank you for you. Did you pray it? Those simple words, I believe, can begin a transformative work of God giving you security and strength like you have never known before. Merry Christmas, Church Home. I love you. I can't wait to see you next week. See you soon.
Oh, little town of Bethlehem, how still we see thee lie above thy deep and dreamless sleep. The silent stars go by, yet in thy dark streets shineth the everlasting light. The hopes and fears of all the years are met in thee tonight. For Christ is born of Mary and gathered all above. While mortals sleep, the angels keep their watch of wondering love. Oh, morning stars together proclaim the holy birth. Oh, praises sing to God the King, and peace to men on earth. Oh, little town of Bethlehem, we sing all praises to him. Oh, come see Jesus the King. Oh, oh, holy child of Bethlehem, descend to us, we pray. us two.